I am so excited to be right here, right now, in this moment to share with you the 8-note pattern that changed my life forever. What's up? Alex here with Step by Step Bass. I'm going to start this lesson off by pumping you up about the major scale, explaining to you why it is a secret to understanding and discovering everything about notes in music. In part 2 of our lesson, I'm going to show you the major scale pattern on the bass. This is something you will use and refer to your entire bass career. We will play through this pattern together slowly a number of times to make sure that you get it down right. And finally, I'm going to tell you why learning your scales on bass is way easier than it is on piano, woodwinds, horns, almost any other instrument, even guitar. In fact, by the end of the lesson today, you will be able to play all 12 major scales on your bass, guaranteed. Stick around, because I will keep that promise. I will also be posting a follow-up lesson to this one with exercises and challenges that will build on what we're doing today. If you enjoy this lesson, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Be sure to hit the notification bell so that you can be notified about new bass lessons as soon as they come out. As always, if you have comments, questions, frustrations, observations, anything at all, please let me know in the comments section. For this lesson, all you will need is a basic knowledge of right hand and left hand technique. Nothing super fancy. If you need to brush up on those a little bit, I will put a link up to those lessons for you. In the meantime, let's get into it. Before we learn the major scale pattern on the bass, I want you to appreciate how vital it is to your success as a musician. I know, skills are boring, right? Wrong. Let me make an analogy for you. I'm assuming that you've learned to read at some point in your lifetime, and that before learning to read, you had to learn the alphabet.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
The alphabet is boring, but no alphabet, no learn to read. Without that, you wouldn't be able to read a sign, send a text, or even sign into your YouTube account. And you wouldn't be here watching this video. Well, the major scale is the alphabet of Western music. Every chord you ever learn is built with numbers. That's how we describe the chords. And those numbers come directly from the numbers 1 through 7 of the major scale. Every chord, every key, every melody, every bass line, every harmony, every mode, every interval, everything comes from this major scale. The major scale is the foundation of your musical education. Please, take a leap of faith. You gotta trust me on that. And now that I hopefully have your buy-in on the importance of today's lesson, let's learn that pattern on the bass. In order to keep this lesson simple and focused, all we're going to cover is the pattern you use to play the major scale. We're not going to go into the finer details or the nuances of the scale today. We're going to focus on what I call the primary pattern, because this is the first pattern that you should learn and master. There are many patterns that I could show you to play this one scale, and we'll get to those in future lessons. But for today, we're going to focus on the primary pattern. When we talk about patterns on the bass, we are thinking in finger numbers and fret numbers. So all you need to know is which finger to place on which string. For clarity, we will not be playing in a closed position at all today. So we'll be assigning one finger per fret, setting aside that part of our left hand technique where we try to play in a closed position whenever possible. If you need to review the rules on left hand technique, I will include a link for you. This pattern will use all 4 fingers and will take 3 strings to complete. So again, all you need to focus on is which finger goes on which string. We're going to assign 1 finger per fret, and we're going to leave it there. Let's start on the 5th fret of our E string. The note is A, but we really don't care that much about that right now. Today, we're focused on the pattern. This pattern works anywhere on the instrument, so you don't need any knowledge of notes in order to learn it and understand it. We will learn the notes on our bass, but for today, we're just going to focus on this pattern. Since we are starting with the note A, we're going to be playing an A major scale. Whatever note you start on, that's called the tonic. And the tonic determines what scale you're playing. So if you start on a B, you're playing a B major scale. If you start on a C, you're playing a C major scale. We're going to start this pattern with our 2nd finger. So we're going to take the 2nd finger and put that on the 5th fret. Now when we're assigning 1 finger per fret, the other fingers just fall into place. So the 1st finger is on the 4th fret, 2nd finger is on the 5th fret, 3rd finger on the 6th fret, and 4th finger on the 7th fret. Okay, and here it is. Here's the pattern based on fingers and strings, starting at the 5th fret of the E string with finger 2. We're going to play 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4. That's the pattern. One more time. 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4. Simple as that. You'll notice that the scale diagram I have posted here for you has only 3 strings and no fret numbers. That could be a problem. Except today, we're only focusing on the pattern. Does not matter what string you're on. Does not matter what fret you're on. It only takes 3 strings to complete, and that's your pattern. Okay, I'm going to play that again, but this time I want you to play along with me. We're going to put some drums on and keep it at a nice, slow tempo. We're going to play it 3 times in a row. Now I also want you to be focusing on your technique as you're doing this, specifically maintaining your reach. So keeping that first finger, in this case, behind the 4th fret, and also let your fingers follow the strings. Sometimes it's difficult to learn something new and retain your technique lessons as well, but I want you to do your best to have good technique as you move forward with this scale. We're going to have 4 clicks, and then we're in. 2, 3, 4, finger 2, finger 4, finger 1, finger 2, finger 4, 1, 3, and 4. Again, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4. One more time. 2, 4, and 1, 2, 4, and 1, 3, and 4, and we're out. That's it. That's the major scale pattern. That's all there is to it. Okay, here's the bonus round. I promised you today we would learn all 12 major scales, and I always keep my promises. We've played the A major scale together. Now let's play a different one. I'd like us to start on the 8th fret of the E string. So, whoops, right there. And that note is called C. Again, doesn't really matter what note it's called, because whatever note that is, we can play the major scale from there. But in this case, we know it's called C, so we're going to play what scale? Yeah, we're going to play the C major scale. So we're going to start at C, 8th fret, E string, with our 2nd finger, and we're going to play the same pattern again. 4 clicks, and we're in. 2, 3, 4, finger 2, finger 4, finger 1, finger 2, finger 4, 1, finger 3, and 4. Again, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4. Say it with me. 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, and we're out. That was the C major scale. We used the same pattern, but we started on the note C. It really is as simple as that. Let's do just one more together. Let's play an E major scale. We'll start this one on the A string at the 7th fret. So frets 3, 5, 7, there we are. We're going to start with our 2nd finger, and we're going to play the same pattern once more. Okay, we're going to play it 3 times, 4 clicks, and we're in. Here they go. 1, 2, 3, 4, finger 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4. Again, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, and we're out. That's it. You're playing major scales. You can play any major scale you want now. Just go to that note and play that major scale. So this pattern works anywhere starting on the E string or the A string for a 4-string bass. The reason it has to be the E string or the A string is that it's a 3-string pattern and it takes 3 strings to complete. On the E string, you've got 3 strings above you. On the A string, you've got 3 strings above you. But then we run out of strings if we try to start on the D or the G. But if you have enough frets and you start on the E string or the A string, this pattern works anywhere. Wherever you start, that's the major scale. There are 12 notes, so there are 12 major scales. If you can find your note, you can play the major scale. That's all there is to it. Okay, I'm sorry. I have to interrupt myself here. Technically, there are 15 major scales. 15, not just 12, even though there's only 12 different notes. The reason is enharmonic equivalence, which means that we're going to call the same note by a couple of different names. 3 of the scales actually get counted twice out of the 12. If you count 3 of them twice, you get 15. We will get into that, and I will explain that all to you, but not in today's lesson. Your homework is simply this. Learn this pattern and learn it well. I assure you, I can keep you busy by challenging you for years to come to better understand and master just this one pattern, this one scale. But it's important that you take this first step. Play it slow, play it right. Learn the fingering pattern. The more deliberately and slowly you work through this, the quicker it will come to you, and the sooner it will become second nature. When you are ready, check out my follow-up lesson on this very subject. It will give you new challenges and new ways to play this scale, including some new points on technique. You know all 12 of your major scales. That is awesome! Piano players can't say that after one lesson. Horn players, clarinet players, flute players, forget it! It takes them a lot longer to learn all of their scales. Even guitar players. This pattern will work on guitar, but only for the lowest 4 strings. But here you are, and you know all 12 or 15 of your major scales. Good for you. It's true. You will have lots of challenges on the bass that you will not have on other instruments. Learning scale patterns is not one of them. This is the tip of the iceberg to you understanding the secrets and the magic that music has to offer. Please remember to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next lesson. And I will see you in the studio.
QRSTUVWXYNZ